10 minutes a day helps keep the motorcycle accidents away. Listen to this audio DMV handbook. Become a professional motorcycle driver. This video is page 17. See video 1 for the table of contents if you want to skip certain pages. Lane positions. In some ways, the size of your motorcycle can work to your advantage. Each traffic lane gives a motorcycle 3 paths of travel, as indicated in this illustration on your screen. Your lane position should increase your ability to see and be seen, avoid others' blind spots, protect your lane from other drivers, should communicate your intentions, should help you avoid wind blast from other vehicles, and provide an escape route. Select the appropriate lane position to maximize your space cushion and make yourself more visible to others. In general, there is no best lane position. The motorcycle riders to be seen and maintain a space cushion around the motorcycle. Position yourself in the lane that allows the most visibility and space around you. Change your lane position as traffic situations change. Ride in path 2 or 3 if vehicles and other potential problems are on the left side. If vehicles are on both sides of you, the center of the lane, path 2 here in the picture, is usually the best option. Riding closer to the center position of your lane helps to keep other vehicles from sharing the lane. The oily strip in the center portion of the lane is usually no more than 2 feet wide. You can ride just to the left or right of the oily strip and still be within the center of the lane. Avoid riding on oil and grease buildup. Carpool, high occupancy vehicle lanes. A carpool lane is a special freeway lane used only for carpools, buses, motorcycles, or decaled low-emission vehicles. The pavement in this lane is marked with a diamond symbol and the words carpool lane. These lanes are also known as high occupancy vehicle lanes or HOV lanes. Do not cross over double parallel lines to enter or exit any carpool lane except at designated entry or exit places. Motorcyclists are allowed to use the carpool HOV lanes unless otherwise posted. Toll highways and vehicle crossings using transponder or electronic payment devices. In California, high occupancy toll lanes and toll highways are free paid roadways used to heavily traveled areas to relieve traffic congestion. Commuters traveling on toll highways or using HOT lanes may purchase transponders which track their vehicle's usage of these roadways. Transponders allow drivers to pay toll fees through electronic billing. When using a transponder or other electronic payment device, motorcyclists are allowed to place the payment device in 5 locations, that is, on the motorcycle carried by the rider, as long as the toll reader can detect the device. The locations are in the motorcyclist's pocket, inside a cycle net draped across the gas tank of the motorcycle, or on the license plate device if the toll operator provides such a device, or in a storage compartment on the motorcycle, or on the windshield of the motorcycle. Following another vehicle. Following too closely, known as tailgating. This could be a factor in collisions. In traffic, motorcycles need as much distance to stop as other vehicles. Normally, you should maintain a 2-second following distance. Now, to gauge your following distance, ahead of you pick out a marker such as a pavement marking or lamppost. When the rear bumper of the vehicle ahead of you passes this marker, count off seconds, 1 1,000, 2 1,000. If you reach the marker before you reach 1002, you are following too closely. A 2-second following distance gives you a minimum amount of space to stop or swerve if the vehicle ahead stops suddenly. It also gives you a better view of potholes and other road hazards. Increase following distance when the motorcycle is towing a trailer, as increased stopping distance is required. You will need a larger space cushion if your motorcycle takes longer than normal to stop. Open up a 3-second or more following distance when the pavement is slippery. You cannot see through the vehicle ahead of you or if the traffic is heavy. When you are stopped, keep well behind the vehicle ahead of you. This provides an escape route if a driver behind you is traveling too quickly or the vehicle ahead starts to back up. When behind a vehicle, ride where the driver can see you in his or her rear view mirror. If you ride in the left or right portion of the lane, the driver may see you in his or her side view mirror. If the traffic situation allows, the center lane position is usually the best place for you to be seen by the driver in his or her rear view mirror and prevent other vehicles from sharing your lane. Let's talk about being followed. Being followed. When you speed up to lose a tailgater, you only end up with someone tailgating you at a higher speed. A better way to handle tailgaters is to allow them to pass you. If you cannot do this, slow down and open up extra space ahead of you. This will allow space for both you and the tailgater to stop. This will also encourage the tailgater to pass. But if the tailgater does not pass, you have at least given yourself and the tailgater more time and space to react in the case of an emergency. Passing and being passed. Passing and being passed by a larger vehicle is not much different than with a smaller passenger vehicle. However, visibility is more critical. Be sure other drivers see you and that you see the potential hazards. Passing. Ride in the left portion of the lane at a safe following distance to increase your line and sight. Make sure you're more visible. Signal and check for oncoming traffic. Use your mirrors and turn your head to look for traffic behind you. When safe, move into the left lane and accelerate. Select a lane position that doesn't crowd the vehicle you are passing and provide space to avoid hazards in your lane. Ride through the driver's blind spot as quickly as possible. Signal again and complete the mirror and head checks before returning to your original lane. Then cancel your turn signal. Remember, passing must be completed within posted speed limits and only where permitted. Being passed. When you are being passed from behind or by oncoming vehicles, stay in the center portion of the lane. Riding any closer could put you in a hazardous situation. Avoid being hit by the other vehicle, extended mirrors, objects thrown from windows, blasts of wind, and larger vehicles. Avoid being hit by the other vehicle. A slight mistake by you or the passing driver could cause a sideswipe. Avoid being hit by extended mirrors. Some drivers forget that their mirrors hang out further than their fenders. Avoid being hit by objects thrown from the window. Someone can throw something at you. Be prepared. Avoid being hit by blasts of wind from larger vehicles. The blast of wind from a passing vehicle or truck can affect your control. You have more room for error if you are in the middle portion of the lane when hit by a blast of wind than if you are on either left or right portions of the lane. Do not move into the portion of the lane farthest from the passing vehicle. It might invite the other driver to move back into your lane too early. Lane splitting. The term lane splitting, also known as lane sharing, filtering, or white lining, refers to the process of a motorcycle riding between two lanes or stopped or slower moving traffic, or moving between lanes to the front of traffic stopped at the traffic light. Vehicles and motorcycles each need a full lane to operate safely. Riding between two rows of stopped or moving vehicles in the lanes can leave you vulnerable. A vehicle could turn suddenly and change lanes. A door could open or a hand could come across out of window. Merging vehicles. Drivers on an entrance ramp may not see you on the highway. Give them plenty of room. Change to another lane if one is open. If there is no room for a lane change, adjust your speed to open up space for the merging driver and stay near the center of the lane. Here's a picture on your screen of how to merge. Vehicles alongside. Do not ride next to passenger vehicles or trucks in other lanes if you do not have to, because you might be in the driver's blind spot. The driver could change lanes without warning. Also, vehicles in the next lane can block your escape if you come upon danger in your own lane. Speed up or drop back to find a place clear of traffic on both sides. Here's a picture on your screen. Search, evaluate, and execute, also known as SEE. Search, evaluate, and execute. Experienced motorcycle riders remain aware of what's going on around them. They improve their riding strategy by using the SEE, a three-step process for making appropriate judgments and applying them correctly in different traffic situations. SEE stands for Search, Evaluate, and Execute. Search. Actively search ahead, to the sides, and behind you to help you avoid potential hazards. How you search and how much time and space you have can eliminate or reduce harm. Focus even more on finding potential escape routes in or around intersections, shopping areas, schools, or construction zones. Search for factors such as oncoming traffic that may turn left in front of you, traffic coming from either the left, right, or behind, pedestrians coming out in between parked vehicles, hazard road conditions. Now evaluate. To predict how a hazard may affect you, it is important to know the speed, distance, and direction the hazard may be moving. Think about how hazards can create risks for you. Anticipate potential problems and have a plan to reduce the risk. Road and surface characteristics such as potholes, guardrails, bridges, telephone poles, and trees will not move into your path but may influence your riding strategy and escape route. Traffic control devices such as turn signals, regulatory signs, warning signs, and pavement markings will help you evaluate circumstances ahead. Vehicles and other traffic may move into your path and increase the likelihood of a collision. Think about your time and space requirements in order to maintain a margin of safety. You must leave yourself time to react in an emergency if it arises. Execute. Carry out your decision. To create more space and minimize harm from any hazard, communicate your presence with lights and/or horn. Adjust your speed as necessary by accelerating or stopping or slowing. Adjust your lane position and/or direction of travel. Apply the old saying, one step at a time. To handle two or more hazards, adjust your speed so you can deal with each hazard separately, then deal with them one at a time as a single hazard. Decision making becomes more complex with three or more hazards. Weigh the consequences of each and give equal distance to the hazard. In high-risk areas, such as intersections, shopping areas, schools, or construction zones, reduce your speed and cover the clutch and both brake levers to reduce your reaction time. Intersections. The greatest potential for conflict and a chance of collision between you and another traffic is at intersections. An intersection is anywhere traffic may cross your path. It can be in the middle of an urban area or at a driveway on a residential street. Over one-half of the motorcycle passenger vehicle collisions are caused by drivers entering a rider's right-of-way. Vehicles turning left or in front of you, including those illegally turning from the wrong lane, and vehicles on the side streets pulling into your lane are the biggest dangers. Your use of the SEE process at intersection is critical. Listen to page 21. There are no guarantees that the others will see you. Never count on eye contact as a sign that the driver will yield to you. Too often, a driver can look right at a motorcyclist and still fail to see him or her. The only eyes you can count on are your own. If a vehicle can enter your path, assume that it will. Good motorcycle riders are always looking for trouble. Not to get into it, but to stay out of it. Take a look at this picture of an intersection. Okay, we've completed page 22. Next video, page 23, safe driving on the road.